Romantic recap? Thank you, besties, and have a fabulously sweet day today. Trapped in this dreary little VIP dungeon, Lu Tingnuo felt her lovely sanity swirl down an unromantic drain. Through blurry eyes, she reviewed her absolute disaster of a dating life, her ruined dreams, and completely broken heart. Cue the dramatic villainous monologue, etched right into her perfectly beautiful bones. I, Lu Tingnuo, actually spent my naive teenage years fully believing in sweet fairy tales and pure love. I thought sunshine, sweet kisses, and justice were real. Total delusion. That was until my charming ex violently canceled my favorite people and threw me into this fabulous underground hellscape. Hearing the breaking news felt like getting dumped via text message, slicing right through her already massive headache. Lam Yuan snatched the Lu family fortune. Every word hit like a terrible blind date, permanently hammering her tragic romantic coffin shut. The spicy breakup memories sliced right back into her brain. She perfectly recalled today's juicy news gossip. The dazzling new boss of Lu Group, Mr. Lam Yuan, is with his darling fiancée. Since his poor in-laws vanished 5 whole years ago, this absolute heartthrob is finally and publicly showing off his shiny new romantic partner. Rumor officially says that our tragic male lead cried so hard over losing his ex and her parents that his poor little heart just gave out completely. Rushed to the dramatic emergency room, doctors cheerfully handed out multiple terrifying death warnings. But thanks to the magical nursing of her backstabbing big sister, Lu Chuanchuan, he miraculously woke up and pocketed every dime of her family business. Every sickeningly sweet broadcast felt like a toxic Cupid arrow violently striking her completely dried up, exhausted heart. She absolutely gagged, remembering the romantic devastation of watching her charming ex-boyfriend shamelessly split her giant family inheritance with her totally two-faced older sister. A spicy tornado of pure, hilarious anger threw a massive party in her chest, totally roasting her alive. Clinking champagne glasses filled with my family's tragedy just to look fabulous on TV? Oh, now I finally get it! She replayed that hilarious news segment. The lying scumbag actually played the modest boyfriend card, claiming his company was just a tiny, struggling little startup. So he promised to faithfully hold on to the megacorporation until her family safely returned. What a loyal, romantic knight. Now, magically falling in love with Lu Chuanchuan, he bravely promised to use his own unique, romantic methods to casually protect the entire Lu family legacy. We send them our absolute sweetest blessings and hope he makes the Lu Empire totally shine again. Then his annoyingly smug voice played on loop. Tingnuo, darling, it has been 5 years. Are you not totally thrilled about my spicy romance with your sister yet? Stop acting like a jealous ex. Whenever she ground her teeth, comedic rage danced through her veins. She threw a massive internal tantrum like a highly dramatic ghost. Romance is dead, besties! Only toxic red flags survive! The hilarious nightmare continued, flashing to her darling sister's incredibly hateful, unsisterly glaring. Staring not like a lovely bridesmaid, but a total mega villain! Honey, could you be a sweetheart and scoop out her ugly eye for my jar? Her creepy staring totally ruins my romantic vibe. Lam Yuan simply smirked like a toxic playboy. Forget eye scooping, babe! I brought my crazy ex a much more fabulous romantic gift. He snapped his fingers like a diva. Bring it in! Up went a delightfully horrifying Frankenstein monster built from her favorite family members. His deep voice oozed absolute pure villainy. This lovely little art project was crafted by your oldest brother, our family's favorite, supposedly brilliant medical genius. Plus, it features the ultimate boyfriend material every girl totally swoons over. Your second brother's hot body, your third brother's gorgeous face, plus your cop brother's sporty legs, perfectly glued together into romantic perfection. If your sweet old dad knew his favorite fancy scalpel helped chop up his precious little darlings like a crazy salad, his grumpy face would be a hilarious meme. She practically choked on unromantic panic. Her sister strutted over like a toxic prom queen, dripping with fake sugar. I am done wasting my precious, beautiful breath on a loser. Lam Yuan and I officially announced our glamorous wedding publicly. And I came today to deliver this totally fabulous, happily romantic news. Since you are heading straight down to the afterlife, Be an absolute doll and invite our dead parents to the wedding, okay? Thanks for the free family money. The spicy acid bottle danced playfully, inching dangerously toward Tingnuo's wildly shaking, completely unmoisturized skin. Cue the absolutely agonizing, highly unesthetic screaming. As her consciousness took a massive nosedive, she angrily hissed a dramatic promise. Oh, honey, this is just the hilarious prequel. I ruined my beautiful voice, screaming endlessly. Please grant me a fabulous romantic reincarnation. Seriously, let me respawn. And boom! Like a magical romantic comedy answering her tantrum, a flashy neon screen totally popped up right in her face. The fabulous trash boy eradication system. She stared like a desperately single girl finding the perfect dating app, mumbling wildly. The trash boy eradication system? Seriously? The magical screen suddenly flashed, unrolling a spicy red carpet for revenge. Congratulations, babe! You can now snack on bitter jealousy to collect system points, easily unlocking fabulous VIP revenge achievements. Level up into an absolute queen, paving your spicy revenge path. Accept this crazy romantic quest? She giggled. Epic rebirth romance? She smashed that yes button. Her dramatic passion blazed straight to heaven. I gladly volunteer to play the glorious Villainess, totally embracing my gorgeous dark era. In this hilarious second life, karma will strike, and my fabulous revenge begins. Popping her sparkling eyes open, she sadly awoke on a weird bed with a spectacularly unromantic potato rolling toward her. His terrible breath completely ruined the romantic mood. His grubby hands yanked her lovely outfit, whining, "Stop playing hard to get! Be a sweetheart and drop that gorgeous dress!" His cringeworthy flirting literally made her gag, yet our heroine stayed perfectly quiet while he kept foolishly babbling, spewing absolute, unromantic garbage. He foolishly whined, "Do not blame me! Who told you to happily stroll through the Liu family garden? Snooping on our evil plans? Young Master Lin commanded me to stash cute girls here for bizarre experiments. But your nosy self found out, so he hilariously gifted you to me." Lin Nuo's memories were still quite romantically fuzzy. Hearing his ridiculous monologue, she stayed quiet. He smirked like a budget villain, his gaze growing absurdly creepy. Looking like a starving fool craving a snack, he pounced. Although absolutely everyone calls you delightfully clumsy and silly, Avon, I clearly must admit, your gorgeous face is breathtaking. Such a tantalizing little figure. Be a good girl, show me a thrill, and you might just survive. Smash! The incredibly satisfying thud of a heavy object meeting his skull echoed. She cheerfully kept swinging until lovely crimson drops finally decorated her face. Staring into the mirror, an unfamiliar reflection blinked back. Sporting wonderfully dead eyes, she softly mumbled. Who on earth is this? Lin Nuo dashed down the ridiculously long hallway like a startled bunny, her heart performing a dramatic drum solo. Wonderfully chaotic thoughts flooded her mind. There is absolutely no mistake. This exact face, this specific era, by some totally ridiculous twist of fate, I have miraculously rewound 5 whole years. Miraculously respawned as our very own housekeeper's darling daughter. If my brilliant memory serves right, that ridiculously sneaky La Muen was currently supposed to trick me using some totally lame excuse about locating my magically vanished parents before secretly dragging me to a Country M hotel. Today was when that trashy villain proudly revealed his ugly colors, rudely trapping me here for 5 whole years. That wonderfully dramatic flashback made her lovely brows playfully twitch, her lovely eyes blazing with sassy resolve. Before proudly escaping the Lu family, I had zero idea where Avon went. But I totally never imagined her getting carelessly kidnapped and dragged into this mess. That sleeping loser will wake up soon, so I must brilliantly stage an epic escape from this dump immediately. Click! A nearby door suddenly swung open. A tired maid waddled out into the hallway. Our female lead instantly froze like a startled cat. Oh no! Incoming! She frantically ducked behind a large plant. Once the coast was completely clear, she stealthily rolled right into the dark suite. Moments later, a breathtakingly gorgeous male figure strolled down the long hallway, closely trailed by Assistant Bai. Bai nervously babbled. "Boss Tong, your luxury suite awaits! Tomorrow, Aside from those boring meetings with the grumpy Huachen group directors, you have a super important date to secretly invite the legendary Dr. A2 back to our lovely home country. The incredibly handsome man slowly turned his flawless face. It was our icy male lead, Tong Zihan, he demanded. Understood. You are dismissed now. Bai happily squeaked. Yes, boss. The breathtaking Tong Zihan casually glanced down at his expensive watch. His majestic gaze remained frosty. Time. Exactly 11:52 p.m. Perfect body temperature, steady heartbeat, normal. He pushed open the door and boldly stepped inside. Hilariously enough, it was the exact dark bedroom Lin Nuo secretly infiltrated. Panic taking over, she silently snuck behind him, pressing a dangerous blade against his sculpted neck, whispering, "Stay completely quiet, or I will happily slice your handsome throat before you scream." Her eyes darted nervously as pure comedic panic set in. I seriously only needed 5 quick minutes to wash these embarrassing bloody clothes, but I never expected this super wealthy owner to return so insanely fast. What on earth should I do now? Smack him unconscious and awkwardly sprint? During her brief distraction, he boldly seized the opening, effortlessly swatting her hand. Clang! The blade loudly hit the ground. Tang Jihan swiftly spun, stepping closer. Pinning her onto the bed, he frostily growled, "Who are you?" Liu Xiaoling completely froze, her heart fluttering wildly. What an incredibly terrifying deep voice. She adorably stammered, "I am!" Suddenly, her eyes widened in complete romantic panic. What is happening? Why is my voice incredibly weird? My whole body is inexplicably burning up! Watching her adorable, highly suspicious squirming, the handsome Tang Jihan tilted his head. His piercing gaze locked onto the bedroom corner as he coldly muttered, "Suspicious aromatherapy." He strictly demanded, "How long have you been hiding inside?" She whimpered, her beautiful eyes turning hazy. "Just 8 minutes." Liu Xiaoling desperately fought for sanity, hilariously screaming internally, "Damn it, this dangerously whiny tone isn't what I wanted. I sound like I am blatantly flirting." She squeezed her eyes shut, blushing bright red, utterly crushed by shame. Tang Jihan's flawless lips curled into a deeply attractive, mischievous smirk. "Well, judging by your incredibly spicy reaction, you have been heavily drugged. The trap was clearly set for me. I never guessed destiny would hilariously make you the unlucky test subject for this love potion. I might spare you, but since a shameless little rascal boldly crashed my private suite, do not expect me to just play completely nice." Without warning, she sprang upward, playfully hooking her soft arms around his neck, instantly pinning him flat. Tong Chi-han stared completely dumbfounded as this brazen woman purred in a dangerously sweet, intoxicating tone. "Since you dare label me a rascal, I absolutely refuse to shoulder such scandalous slander without having some actual fun, so let us just make it reality." Her slender fingertips playfully traced his jawline. The handsome billionaire turned completely crimson, frantically roaring, "Unhand my body this instant!" He nervously checked the glowing timepiece. 11:57 at night. Heat hitting 37.2 degrees, pulse 92! Yet the mischievous temptress shamelessly refused him. "Never? Not until you officially guarantee my absolute freedom?" Inside, her panicked brain was completely screaming. What am I even blurting out? This handsome tyrant radiates absolute danger. I really must obey him and retreat right now. Tang Chi-han ground his teeth together, exploding with blazing fury. "Consider this your absolute final warning. Release me immediately. Otherwise, the impending consequences will be completely terrifying." Piercing his dark pupils with her gaze, she boldly shouted, "Let us make it happen!" With fierce determination, she swooped down and claimed his lips. Panic flooded his eyes as warning sirens frantically blared. Complete disaster! The clock struck exactly midnight. Body heat instantly spiked to 38.5 degrees Celsius, pulse wildly hitting 120. A deafening explosion echoed, flooding the room with blinding mist. As the heavy fog drifted away, an incredibly confused little boy sat helplessly upon the ground, drowning inside ridiculously oversized clothes. Unbelievably, this tiny boy was the great Tong Chi-han, magically reverted into a child. With burning crimson cheeks and tightly balled fists, he panicked internally. That terrifying romantic disaster actually just happened. Little Tong Chi-han fiercely squinted, his gaze drifting as a cynical thought crossed his mind. The reason I totally despise women, reason number one, is that they are completely unpredictable emotional labyrinths. Normally, they might just appear wonderfully sweet, yet impressively resilient, practically glowing like innocent angels. However, secretly, they are dangerously cunning chameleons, flawlessly weaponizing their stunning beauty to completely mask their greedy ambitions. Even my legendary visionary eyes, praised as mystical windows capable of piercing any hidden secret, genuinely struggle to decipher the chaotic maze of a female heart. Honestly, most women represent pure romantic poison, an overwhelming tsunami, a fierce obsession, desperately seeking to totally enslave any man glancing their way. His tiny glare snapped upward as a shadow approached, softly murmuring, "President Tong." One sweeping glance from him, and bam! The lady instantly swooped right in, purring with sticky, sweet seduction. Sadly, a few teeny tiny misunderstandings meant our darling Hutching group totally missed out on happily partnering with your lovely company. Crashing tonight's fabulous gala, my boss literally begged me to try and woo you back. Please give us one more romantic chance. Tong Chi-han completely dropped his polite mask, his gorgeous voice, absolute ice. A hard pass, sweetheart. Your little startup over in Hua country barely opened its doors. You barely scrape $10 million a year, plus those absolutely juicy tax evasion rumors swirling around your cute heads, keep attracting the government's naughty list. Even your own subsidiary bosses are literally running for the hills. Projects are painfully belly up everywhere. Angry workers are literally screaming for their paychecks, roasting your poor investors 24/7 out there. Basically, the whole Hutching empire is a hilarious dumpster fire right now. So, zero chance we are ever romantically dating. She froze, her pretty face twitching furiously, but slapped on a glossy smile anyway. She shimmied dangerously close, practically nibbling his earlobe while whispering, "Oh my, somebody is awfully cranky and super confused today. If the handsome President Tong is so worried, skip the boring banquet. Let us retreat to my cozy hotel room and have a very private chat." Her manicured fingers stroked his perfect hand, only to get swat away instantly. Tong Chi-han looked incredibly disgusted, his sexy voice booming like thunder. "Are you walking away right now? Or should I summon my massive guards to literally toss you violently outside?" Enter Bai Yudu, polite but completely done with this drama, waving her off. "Lady, please spare my poor overtime hours." The villainess ground her teeth, screeching in total, absolute rage. "You heartless jerk. All sparkly roads lead to Rome, honey. I refuse to accept that without you, our grand Hutching group cannot survive." She spun dramatically, but Tong Chi-han's devastating voice sliced right through her fragile, desperate ego like a scorching hot knife. Sure, all cute little roads lead to Rome. However, some magnificent gods are literally just born inside Rome. Namely, handsome me, the legendary Tong Chi-han. You should absolutely try harder, babe. Because honestly, if you skip the miserable, pathetic grinding phase, you will completely miss out on true, hilarious despair. The handsome duo strutted off, leaving the tragic lady boiling, utterly unhinged and shrieking wildly. "Are you calling me trash? Am I too dirty for you?" Meanwhile, Tong Chi-han gracefully rejoined the gala, his dazzling steps literally stealing all the spotlights. He descended those grand stairs, dripping with a hilariously arrogant, god-tier alpha aura, and announced with perfectly dramatic main character energy, "I am Tong Chi-han. Obviously, I am the absolute most ridiculously overpowered billionaire bachelor in the entire Hua nation. Channeling those smug romance protagonists, I stay dazzlingly pristine, coldly rational, and ridiculously useful." He stepped right into the heart of a dazzling banquet. His immaculate leather shoes clicked flawlessly against gleaming marble, creating a commanding rhythm that instantly snapped every single gaze toward him. Beneath the blindingly radiant chandelier, suspended from the breathtaking gilded ceiling, his towering frame wore a bespoke suit highlighting his godlike proportions, radiating a fiercely freezing, unapproachable dominant aura. His overwhelming alpha presence literally crystallized the surrounding atmosphere. A single ironclad rule, deeply etched into his DNA, loudly echoed inside his brilliant mind. Always maintain a strictly safe distance from any breathing women. The ballroom hummed with energy. Thirsty stares and frantic gossip flooded his ears. That is the absolute supreme boss of the almighty Tong conglomerate, the legendary 20th generation successor. For 5 straight years, he has absolutely dominated national rankings as the ultimate bachelor every woman desperately longs to marry. Seeing him today is a true miracle. Rumor says his inner circle is purely men. When facing absolutely gorgeous beauties, he remains so insanely composed that crazy legends claim he can literally control his own beating human heart. Is that crazy rumor true? Then does that mean I have zero chance? Tong Chi-han kept strolling in absolute silence, his piercing glare never shifting once. In his flawless perspective, everything was merely a cheap, pathetic illusion of a fake reality. Those bottomless pupils resembled a completely frozen glacier during a brutal blizzard. He smugly monologued internally. My strict policy of avoiding the female species is not simply because I find their chaotic emotions totally impossible to logically decode, but because my massive intellect is terrifying. Since childhood, I could instantly shatter any cute girl's deceptive facade with one passing look. The deeply tragic second reason I avoid them triggers whenever I actually face women. Several hours later, inside a dead silent lounge, completely shut off from the chaotic outside world, only a single dramatic lamp's glow illuminated a ridiculously expensive timepiece. Tong Chi-han dipped his arrogant head, tracking the glowing dial as though literally commanding his own blood flow. His chilling voice drifted like a feather. Heart rate 70. Inside, his raging thoughts churned like a tsunami. Excellent, as long as my pulse stays safely under 100. His loyal assistant, Baek Yu-do, bowed nearby. Boss Tong, please forgive my horrible blunder. I absolutely promise I won't let another crazy female ambush you. The icy CEO completely ignored his subordinate, obsessively tracking the ticking hand while his genius brain frantically crunched numbers. As midnight rapidly approached, he delivered his freezing, merciless judgment. Go accept your painful penalty. Back inside the pitch-black bedroom, a completely delirious Lu Tingnuo unconsciously death gripped his tiny, cursed body. Her breath tickled his ear as she dazedly mumbled, "The scary boss became a toddler." He furiously squirmed, desperately trying to shove her away with scrunched, chubby brows. "Unhand me!" His tiny struggles were completely pathetic. She simply squeezed him tighter and happily snuggled. So cozy. Tong Chi-han's soul internally shrieked in agony. Could this ridiculous nightmare get worse? At daybreak, soft rays filtered through the drapes, bathing the massive bed in gold. He awoke early, intensely glaring at the sleeping girl beside him, lost in dark thoughts. His grandfather's grave warning violently echoed. Chi-han, never forget that our bloodline isn't normal. The mighty Tong dynasty is permanently cursed. It traces back to a foolish ancestor from the Southern Song era, who broke a sacred vow to spend eternity with a terrifying demoness. As brutal payback, his heirs are doomed to morph into helpless toddlers under specific triggers, forever forbidden from staying with their destined true love. Centuries have passed, yet this incredibly embarrassing magical curse continues poisoning our family tree every generation. If their traitorous pulse spikes past 100 beats around a woman, they instantly morph back into a helpless toddler, trapped from exactly midnight until 6 in the morning. But there is one gruesome way to shatter it. Remembering this, his eyes violently darkened. A terrifying glimmer sliced through his pupils like a blade. His flawless hand silently crept forward. His freezing fingers slowly began constricting around her incredibly fragile, snow-white throat. His calm gaze ignited blood red like a demonic abyss, radiating the chill of a blade. The cure is executing the female trigger. But as Tong Chi-han glared at Lu Tingnuo, shock completely paralyzed his face. He slowly released his grip, his mind exploding with absolute confusion. What is wrong with this woman? Why is her body covered in wounds? The heavy, murderously tense atmosphere, was abruptly shattered by a barrage of frantic thumps against the bedroom doors. His loyal assistant urgently shouted, "Boss Tong, the luxury convoy is ready! We are horribly late! Please do not ignore the terrifying chairman's strict mandate. You absolutely must visit the legendary Dr. Arthur this very afternoon." Still analyzing the sleeping girl, Tong Chi-han's magnetic baritone rumbled, "Enter immediately." The microsecond the heavy door opened and Baek-yu-do stepped inside, he heard a chilling command. Perfect timing. Ruthlessly investigate every detail about the woman on this bed. He tenderly bundled Lu Tingnuo into an adorable little burrito. His deep voice resonated with absolute authority. "Secure one extra flight ticket back to our homeland. Once my itinerary concludes, she is returning home with me." Baek-yu-do stared back with absolute disbelief. Sweeping his gaze across the suite, he stammered out, "President Tong, how exactly did a mysterious woman infiltrate your private suite? Wait, you're seriously taking her?" Tong Chi-han marched toward the exit, but suddenly froze in his tracks. Throwing a dark glance over his shoulder, his grandfather's heavy words echoed in his mind. "Gramps, killing aside, isn't there another way to shatter this annoying curse?" His grandfather gently patted his adorable head, replying with a warm smile. "Of course. There are two paths. Make her bear your child." He stood completely frozen, his heart doing chaotic flip-flops. "Make a baby? Wow, talk about an impossible mission." Bai-yu-do blinked in utter confusion, asking cautiously, "Boss Tong, shouldn't we wait for Sleeping Beauty here to actually wake up and properly ask her permission? Snatching her like this? You'll definitely get slapped with kidnapping charges." Tong Chi-han shot back with chilling, detached arrogance. "A fierce girl who breaks into my bedroom wielding a knife is undoubtedly more terrified of the cops than I am." These arrogant words left Bai-yu-do immensely frustrated, yet completely unable to argue. He stayed totally silent. The door clicked softly. On the bed, Lu Tingnuo's pretty eyes finally fluttered open, while her hazy senses slowly returned. Elsewhere, the heavy air absolutely reeked of fresh, metallic blood. A violently bruised thug knelt, shaking like a leaf at Lin Yuan's shoes, stammering his desperate pleas. "Boss Lin, please have mercy!" The surrounding lackeys fiercely exchanged furious glances, totally blaming him. "We literally ordered you to securely handle that foolish girl and keep a tight leash on Lu Tingnuo. How on earth did she vanish after swallowing that massive mountain of sleeping pills?" Kim Bin carefully stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with deep caution as he whispered, "Young master, we thoroughly searched the entire hotel perimeter. There is absolutely zero trace of that spoiled, pampered princess. Our boys are frantically doubling the massive search efforts. But honestly, our biggest headache? We originally only wanted to kidnap her. Then we planned to dangle those old geezers' lives over her head, forcing her to sign away all her shares. But now, without her beautifully handwritten signature on that document, I'm terrified those stubborn Lu family shareholders will absolutely block your greedy path to the top seat." He bowed even lower, his voice dropping to a sneaky hush. "What's our brilliant move?" Lin Yuan mused darkly. "Immediately leak a juicy rumor to the hungry press. Claim that our precious Lu Tingnuo, highly targeted by the Assassin Alliance, was snatched by a mysterious hitman. Her whereabouts remain completely undiscovered. Therefore, playing the role of her heartbroken fiancé and the ever-loyal adopted son, I shall gallantly control all Lu family assets, just until our precious princess magically returns." Kim Bin eagerly swallowed the brilliant command, sparkling admiration in his eyes. "I'll execute it immediately, boss. Using the terrifying Assassin Alliance as our perfectly convenient scapegoat is absolute genius. Until her pretty corpse surfaces, we'll easily pacify those annoying prehistoric shareholders." Lin Yuan's handsome face remained totally stone cold, yet his dark eyes practically swirled with sinister, calculating schemes. Even flawlessly wearing a sneaky disguise, evaporating into thin air right under the noses of trained muscleheads, is totally impossible for some spoiled, pampered princess. He mused internally, while a cold, sticky sense of genuine dread slowly crept up. Could some insanely massive hidden faction be secretly messing up my perfect chessboard? Meanwhile, soaring high on an international flight, a sweet hostess politely chimed, "Darlings, kindly switch off all electronic devices." Another bubbly attendant gracefully leaned toward a mysterious passenger, hiding beneath a sleek black cap, whispering sweetly, "Sir, our magnificent plane is launching now. Please secure your seatbelt safely." The shadowy passenger looked up, revealing insanely captivating, sparkling eyes beneath the brim. It was our runaway bride, Lu Tingnuo. Flashing an angelic smile, she purred, "Thanks." That overpowering, lethal beauty absolutely paralyzed the poor hostess, making her internally scream, "Holy moly, those eyes could totally steal a soul." Back in the gloomy office, Kim Bin bowed deeply, asking, "Young master, should we keep deploying more clueless goons around the hotel's immediate perimeter?" Lin Yuan dismissively waved his hand, his icy tone freezing. "Totally unnecessary. If some absolutely annoying, super-secret powerhouse is actually playing White Knight for Lu Tingnuo, then she's definitely ghosted that hotel by now. I bet my entire fortune there's a 50% probability. She's already slapped on a fake disguise and hopped a jet to Country M. High on that luxurious flight to Country M, Lu Tingnuo sank deeply into her plush seat, her dazzling eyes drilling holes into a suspiciously thin dossier. The bold ink screamed clearly. Name, Lai Hua. Age, exactly 20. Height, 1.65 meters. Weight, precisely 42 kilograms. The sweet, adopted daughter of Li Dianxin, the wildly loyal chauffeur serving Chairman Lu Hui's massive corporation. Old man Lu Hui, feeling generous about this driver's 10 years of backbreaking loyalty, pulled massive strings to squeeze Lai Hua into Haitan's outrageously snobby Noble Academy. She's currently a cute little freshman surviving in the Chinese language department. Plus, being a total adorable klutz, she's an invisible ghost around campus. Her nickname is Avong. She smirked playfully. Lai Hua, a perfectly basic name that could not be more ordinary. And this nobody is my new disguise inside the Lu family for 20 years. But I only tossed her a passing glance. And now it's completely insane that I desperately need her pathetic identity to survive. But honestly, I must secretly thank that arrogant, handsome jerk. Before leaving, he ordered his lackey to thoroughly investigate my background. Acquiring this top-secret file was an absolute piece of cake. 2 hours earlier, under romantic dim hotel lights, Lu Tingnuo casually grabbed a bedside lamp and absolutely bonked Bai Yudu's head, completely knocking him silly. He tumbled onto the floor in a daze, groaning loudly. "What a savage strike! There is a massive lump here!" she smirked, thinking. Moving forward in my life, playing the tragic heroine Ah Feng for my grand revenge plot, my flawless acting will not be exposed so easily. She fondly remembered meeting Bai Yudu at that hotel. I will just borrow this fabulous outfit. A sweet chime from the airplane speaker system suddenly jolted her back to reality. Welcome to the latest breaking news. The beautiful Lu Tingnuo, beloved daughter of Tycoon Lu Hui, was tragically snatched by an assassin while traveling to Country M with her dashing fiancé, and her location remains completely unknown. Hearing this garbage, Lu Tingnuo's gorgeous eyes flared fiercely. She gritted her teeth, scoffing, "An assassin!" The announcer continued. Her heartbroken fiancé Lin Yuan announced he will valiantly lead the Wa Country Lu group until his precious bride is safely returned. She crumpled the paper with terrifying force. Her pretty gaze turned absolutely freezing as she internally plotted. No matter what, his sweet voice echoed in her mind. The next time we meet. She looked up, her beautiful eyes blazing with fierce determination. I absolutely refuse to let that scumbag escape. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Tang Zihan frantically kicked open the bedroom door. He was immediately greeted by the hilarious sight of Bai Yudu, stripped completely naked, curled on the floor with a comical lump. He roared in hot anger. I strictly ordered you to guard her. Where is my beautiful wife? Meanwhile, at the elite Noble Heighten University, golden sunlight poured through gorgeous glass onto a lively hallway. Lu Tingnuo posed beautifully before a massive mirror inside the restroom. Her serene gaze admired her beautiful reflection. That face, boasting flawless porcelain skin, deeply enchanting eyes, a stunning look harboring both tragic heartbreak and fierce stubbornness. The soft romantic lighting hitting her snowy complexion made every single delicate feature absolutely pop, looking purely magical. A wild wave of emotions bubbled up as she mused, even checking it countless times. I cannot grasp this magical feeling. Striding forward, she felt a wonderfully solid sensation beneath her healthy new legs. Her sweet voice was wonderfully melodic again, and her skin flawlessly milky, completely untouched by that horrific acid attack. It has been 3 wild days since I awoke in this gorgeous body. I must brainstorm Ah Feng's cute new campus persona. Sorting through these inherited memories in my own digging, luckily not a single soul has caught on that this incredibly timid girl has undergone an epic personality upgrade. Naturally, Ah Feng's ridiculously awful, trashy biological father, that washed-up middle-aged loser Lai Jinding, has been permanently unemployed since my evil fiancé Lin Yuan viciously framed him. Now he just marinates in cheap booze daily. His own daughter vanished for an entire week, and he completely ignored the police station. What an absolute deadbeat dad who could not care less about his kid! She vaguely remembered her own sarcastic parting words before ditching that dump today, saying, "I am going to class." She pouted playfully at the mirror, like she was staring right into her flaming soul. Step 1, I need to conquer this school life. Then, my deliciously wicked counterattack begins. Boom! A deafening crash shattered the peace. The restroom door violently burst open, revealing 3 dramatic mean girls entering like utterly spoiled royalty. An annoyingly squeaky voice screeched, "You little brat! Hiding in the bathroom, huh? Drag yourself out here this instant!" Lu Tingnuo elegantly turned, her gorgeous gaze completely icy, showing zero trace of silly panic. She calmly stared down the 3 screaming clowns throwing tantrums. Provoked by her deliciously unbothered attitude, the vicious alpha bully, and T.I. squinted her nasty eyes, flashing a super arrogant smirk. "You actually have the nerve to stand around doing your makeup. I commanded you to ace my exam!" She and her pathetic minions aggressively marched forward, her bratty voice losing all patience. "You honestly dared to pull a vanishing trick on us? Do you actually realize how ruthlessly the professor roasted us? Because we are dear classmates, I will bestow generous mercy upon you. Drop to your knees and lick these filthy tiles completely clean for me. Then I will consider forgiving your miserable attitude. Deal?" Lu Tingnuo gently tilted her beautiful head, her eyes radiating utter disdain, unimpressed by the 3 clowns facing her. "Are we doing school bullying today?" She purred in a beautifully bored tone, like they were discussing the afternoon weather. "You certainly bark quite loudly. Tell me, whenever you take a massive dump, do you use toilet paper to wipe your mouth?" That hilarious insult hit like an invisible slap, making T.I. furious. "You bitch! You actually dare to talk back? Have you forgotten my elite status?" Lu Tingnuo scoffed beautifully. "Sorry, darling, my search engine cannot locate your relevance. Next time, I will dispatch some dogs to sniff it out." Her minions accidentally snorted, driving T.I. insane. "What are you idiots giggling at? Who gave permission to laugh?" She boiled with fiery rage over her minions, mocking her, thinking, "Damn it! This is unbelievably humiliating!" Suddenly, sweet, magical system chimes cheerfully echoed inside Lu Tingnuo's brilliant mind. Harvested Hanai Mei's 0.1 juicy resentment value. Got Ma Dongmei's 0.3 resentment value. Ding! Tang Jihan dropped 0.2 petty jealousy points, while Liu Xiaoling offered 0.1. She adorably scowled,